Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Paladins Minor League. Monday, February 11th, 43 and foggy outside here in the lovely Atlanta area. A little bit of suburbia for us. My name's Rainday and Gormizer getting ready to start off what, again, should be a fun week of Paladins.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be Qualifiers Part 2, right? Like, we're coming in essentially seeing the teams that didn't quite make the cut last week, and that's kind of the goal. I think actually in the bracket that you could see before the stream, there's a couple of teams that did show up again and may or may not actually be able to push themselves forward toward that Week 4 goal.
Well, if you haven't seen the bracket, I mean, it was literally bigger than the world in the intro. I'm not sure how you might have missed that.
It's actually in the sky
It's
now.
in the
if you
sky.
Go and look out.
That was the difficult part about bringing it on screen. We had to get it from the sky. Anyways, a lot of technical things. We let production deal with that. But let's talk about the format for how these teams are here, why they're here again. If you are confused about the process, it's open bracket. This is still the qualifiers. So the minor league is not officially started yet, but don't worry, this is just as important because these are the teams getting in to the minor league. 2 teams qualify each week. Last week we had 2 teams qualify from both Europe and North America. This show will cover both regions throughout the day for the next 4 or so hours. We'll see Week 2 this week. 2 teams qualify for Week 4 as well. And then Week 3, William, switch it up a little bit. 4 teams are going to qualify for that one. And then last week, that's where the money is.
And it's also important to pay attention to the dates at the bottom. Obviously, this is going to be 9/10. That's coming through right now. But the next Week 3 isn't actually next week. It's in a couple weeks. So you're going to have a little bit of a break, I guess, between qualifiers and qualifiers. And then the week right after that will be your week number 4. And that's the one that puts you really, truly in the money, right? That's when you get into the minor league.
Yeah.
And you can finally call yourself an almost Premier League team.
We had to give all the fellas a week to recover from Valentine's Day spending. We know it's going to be difficult to
be sitting around
just stare at your wallet, stare at your bank account after that. Just say, God, flowers are really that okay, all right. All right, so we're giving you some time. Now we're heading back into showing you what the actual bracket is for today. To get this action started, I'm ready to cast some Paladins. I'm ready to look at what these players have come up with here in 2.01 still, or is it 2.02? We'll see here. I can't wait to see Imani in the near future played by these great players. ChromaSpace, all business. We know ChromaSpace very well, and it is still 201. I'm just getting confirmation as well. PackBet is waiting for them in the finals. They 3-0'd and 2-0'd. So they're looking strong.
And being able to, again, kind of, I want to say like gatekeep Scuba Duper. They've come in the second week in a row.
Scuba
both
Duper's like,
times
come
getting
on.
into those semifinals, just not able to make it to the finals. And ChromaSpace, a name that has been around the European scene, especially in like the kind of amateur leagues going through what used to be the Global Series, but has gone through changes. I mean, with the way teams have been shaken up, there's going to be a lot, I think, that could be different for them. And all business. It's just all business.
All business, baby.
They're going to come through and give them the business.
That's what I like about Mondays. That's the give them the business. It's all business, you know, and hopefully they, make some business happen by getting some wins, getting some W's, and potentially earning some cash pricing by getting themselves in the minor league, getting a chance to play for some dollars here, of course. Let's get into the first matchup, though. I can't wait to see these 2 teams face off. ChromaSpace, they've had some history in Paladins, and, of course, they're going against well, I guess trying to handle their business today, we'll put it that way. All Business did not complete the 2-0 sweep. They actually went 2-1. So they are looking like maybe a bit more challenged in terms of getting their wins. But Jaguar Falls will be a test for both of them. And again, Warder's Gate banned out.
It's actually interesting to see because some of the other bans there were like your Frog Isle, your Bright Marsh, like more, I want to say, staple maps that, especially towards the end of last year, were everybody's go-to. Like, it's like, okay, well, first map, we're going to Frog Isle, or we're going to Bright Marsh. Like, we are pretty sure we can 4-0 on this map, and that's what they were. They were 4-0-able maps. Jaguar Falls can be anywhere from a 4-0 if you're just dominant, or 4-3s, and the same thing can go for, I think, a lot of the other maps that are still open for the rest of the set, but nothing, I wouldn't say nothing out of the ordinary, except Grover does kind of catch my eye.
Well, no, I mean, this is...
You are not welcome here.
I think, he does catch your eye because you're not used to seeing him there.
Yeah, he's
but
not
I think in
supposed to be
2.01, it's been very clear that Grover has just risen as the top healer, at least in Europe, and I believe in North America's eyes. Random Noob, he did a tier list as well. I did a tier list earlier on in this season when it just was starting up, and Grover was at the top of the list. So was Koga. Torvald, not so much, but Koga Torvald as a combo is too deadly to let through.
And that's the thing is, Anara, Khan, actually both of those, I would say, probably more of a priority ban than Torvald as a frontline alone.
Yes.
Torvald because of what he enables. That's where he always comes down. That's the reason he was such a big play during the last season as well, where it's just that bubble enables so much to be done. you have to get rid of him. Leon, even though she no longer has her insane anti-heal,
I know,
is just staple. I mean, she is so solid. I mean, I think we were seeing, what, 4-second cooldowns on her abilities last week. Like, it is ridiculous what you can do with it.
You could really have almost no cooldown, especially if you get that kill. That's the thing that matters, because you get the inheritance percentage reduction on the elimination. And eliminations happen to anybody that dies. You don't have to get the final blow. So you can use your Valor, your Grace to auto-spread some of that damage. If any of those players die, and not just the one you're shooting, you get cooldown on those big abilities. So that's a big reason why she's able to snowball a lot of fights. Victor, burst mode, lifesteal build, watch out for that. Life Rip also a little cheaper. That has become a very viable thing. His damage is strong, but this is also being run just as the burst mode with a Grenadier kind of loadout, still augmenting the grenade. And the Pip and the Saris, double support coming in for AB.
Now, this is actually kind of when we were first looking at 2.01. This is the kind of team we were thinking was going to show up. Two frontline, one that does have a heal, although that doesn't matter as much, as having the double support coming through. Pip can go damage. He's going to fit right in the middle. And then you have Cassie, who's just going to carry everybody in case things start to go awry. But Khan and Ash are going to be very difficult to displace. I think Barrett can hold them back. But there's a lot of work really cut out for the Leon and the Victor to make sure things happen.
Yeah, and one of the things I want to see as we get closer to heading into game here is Cassie using that scout not just for the reveal. In a meta that's dominated by high-level tanks and supports, they generally have a lot of CC on their ultimates, and her ult granting CC immunity is one of those outplay mechanics that can be used against things, you know, like a seismic crash, obviously like a Maldamba Dread Serpent, like a Maldamba Stun. You can prevent those things, you can anticipate them. Cassie can have a lot more wiggle room in a fight that has a lot of crowd control.
Especially on a map when it comes down to it, like Jaguar Falls, when you are going to get caught by those abilities around corners, it's going to clip you in certain areas. You can hear that sound cue, and because of the way they're usually enacted, like a Nara Maldamba a little further away, if your reactions are like on point, you hit that, and then all of a sudden you're rushing them down. They have no clue how to react. Nothing is scarier than a non-CCable Cassie running straight at you.
When you think they're going to be CC.
Oh, yeah.
That's
like,
the scary part.
She's going to be fine. I'm Maldamba. I can get away from this, no problem.
Well, Jaguar Falls kicks off like the beginning of, what, a Sonic level? I like this. I'm getting ready to collect some coins. And these guys are getting to collect their paychecks. It's all business. Starting out on Jag versus ChromaSpace. Let's see who takes the dub here.
A lot of familiar names. Coriel, Unlimited Power, Mad Mac, and Dirac all going to be coming through here for ChromaSpace. Bugsy, though, is making his appearance.
Oh,
this
wow.
is the one that I have been waiting on, and you can see a couple of the picks that were on the P's and B's are different here. A Grok that is going to be piloted by the man himself.
Well, yeah, this is going to tell you something. All business. Although struggling a little bit here with not getting that W, with Bugsy being on the team, playing this Grok, you feel like there's just a lot that he's going to be able to provide, but one man can't do it all. This is a team-based game. Unlimited Power, though, he can contribute for ChromaSpace. This Sin has been extremely strong. Don't tell me he was going to go for the Whirl. Just checking the edges, making sure no one's hiding there, and buying himself some time. Whirls in, finds a couple of shots onto the turret. Takes away some of Barrick's sustain and damage in the meanwhile. Now Barrick looks like he could be in trouble there. You can see Unlimited Power trying to finish him off, but now William Birkin finding him back. If he's got the billow, he's out, and he does.
And this is one of those perfect areas, being able to get that zone. You can see ChromaSpace coming and taking the point, but All Business did exactly what they need. They got to the point, they got as much as they could, 48%, and now they already have a Tempest going off. The heals are up, and they're just going to be able to snowball some kills off of that.
You know, what was so great about that too, Gore, they just allowed this fight to continue building without really committing anywhere until that Tempest was ready. What you're going to see with this type of ultimate level of, I think, front lines and supports being in the game, that all-time peak that we're going to see right now, is just ultimates are going to come up in round one. They're not going to be these fast burst meta fights. They're going to be these long, slow fights that allow ultimates like the Tempest to impact a lot sooner than you would imagine.
And this is actually one of the things I think it's kind of surprising to me. It was one thing, I think last week, Bugsy's team either was off in the first round or they had ended up getting, or not signing up. Either way, they were in that area of where are they going to stand? How good are they going to look? It's a bunch of guys that admittedly, while they've probably played ranked together, they've probably played a little bit together maybe in some pickup games, you don't typically see these names on the same lineup. And Bugsy, for a long time, was me touting him as probably one of the best players, and still is, in Paladins, just with how versatile he is.
Yeah.
And I'm happily surprised to see what they're doing. But then, of course, you have ChromaSpace, who is this team of members that have been playing together for at least months at this point, some of them years. So they're feeling comfortable. And it's going to be, I think, immovable object meets unstoppable force.
Absolutely. And they all combine to create unlimited power. How about that? You see a nice Fury ult to give some movement speed into the King Bomb. He's looking for the perfect target, and he finds the support. Mad Mac will fall down. Double kill from Closar. That's a beautiful combination of ultimates there. And all business continue to steamroll through ChromaSpace.
I actually think if Bomb King's ult was a little bit longer, with that amount of speed, he could actually go backwards in time about 30 years.
We could see Back to the Future.
With Bomb King.
What? How many of them? 4? I mean, they've done 3, right? So we could see
Back
4.
to the Future 4, the new star, Bomb King coming through. Because I think that was a Tempest and Fury ult just boosting him up. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Bomb King ult is not the easiest ult to turn in.
No, it's not.
Turning at that speed to get that angle in that area, like that was so calculated from all business.
Well, you know what is great? He took this roundabout way, so there's no way they can get away from where he's going. So then he pins them in like a wolf corralling sheep, and then he goes for his target, which he knows has to either be in that dark room or out in the open. And so he finds Mad Mac, slows things down. But at the end of the day, all business still getting pushed back. The relentless pressure from ChromaSpace proving like an immovable object, like you mentioned before.
And a lot of this has come down to the fact that it's very difficult to displace Coriel. It's very difficult to get rid of an Inara when you have someone like Adam, like Unlimited Power, constantly kind of harassing you. The minute you show your face, you're going to be taking damage from that long range because of Yuumi strikes, because of Cassie shots. Like, there's nowhere for you to get as aggressive as you would like.
So we just see how he just goes around this corner, gets the vision. He has the speed to maneuver that way. Normally you'd be worried about your ult running out, but he just does it so perfectly to keep them in that area. Taking a look at his loadout too, he's got a little bit of reinforced casing, some extra ammo, that never hurt, but pretty standard Bomb King stuff. We have been seeing a lot of the heal on Sticky Bomb Detonate, but he's not running that. He's actually running a Jolt version of Bomb King.
I actually like this. I've been experiencing a lot more Jolt, either against me or with me, because I started running it at level 5 just for the memes. But it's an interesting card when you think about the fact that adding a knock-up is the difference in some places. I mean, right here, 15%, that could be a kill off the edge of the map that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Oh, and you know what? He went for it, but he doesn't know Unlimited Power's there still. And he's going to go for Mad Mac, and there's just a spite into it. They're going to try to get the kill, and beautiful jolt away, but Dirac steps in and cleans it up. Beautiful Yomi strike as well. This could be trouble. Adam going around the corner, and there's the stun. Oh, don't tell me Ash didn't get that buff, because she has the strength of thousands with that. She takes down anybody who steps into that circle, asserts her dominance, and makes sure that she's the last tank standing.
And Ineffable's still going to end up going down right there, but that opened up so much for his team. Ults are starting to come back online. There's going to be the Furia Pop, the Inflame coming through. That is usually your ticket to winning a fight. When you have a Bomb King, the two of them go hand in hand together. 77% for him, but he's going to be able to come around the corner. At least 1, potentially 2 kills waiting for him.
Woo. Like the plays here, but again, Closar this round has not had as much success as he would have liked. He's gone down a couple of times, and ChromaSpace need that Zen to apply pressure to the back line to get this Grok out of the fight, because he is really pressuring out Coriel on the Ruckus. Ruckus serving as essentially a totem for Grok to bounce these lightning shocks off of, and now getting focused. The Solar Beam does miss because of the Ghost Walk, and so now this is the moment. Can they make something happen on ChromaSpace?
When they're trying their best, there's going to be the King Bomb charging up, coming up, but there's a wall blocking him off. He has to take a different path, but it's just too much damage in too little time. He's not going to be able to make any plays out of that. Unlimited Power, Dirac holding up, but it's still 99% for All Business.
Oh my god, All Business trying to hold down. William Birkin just cannot be taken off of this objective. He's got the bowling ball reset, just can't do it. The rocket boots. Bit of a day late and $1 short right there. Looking for a good Yomi strike, and he's just going to counter instead. And a potential spot to do some damage, but decides to play defensive. We'll see. The spite's coming back up 90% now for ChromaSpace.
Unlimited Power has been doing a lot. Dirac coming back, the Tempest coming in, doing whatever they can to try and find control, give that boost, get in there, 99 to 99.
You gotta get him.
And they're coming in for the fight,
but
everyone's too low.
Oh no, use the stun. I mean, he had to get Bugsy there, but he just waits too long. Finds the stun on the top of the staircase. It goes into the Earthen Guard, but the Solar Blessing is keeping William Birkin alive. Dirac doing his best to just try to combat all of this, and now Coriel able to press through, but William Birkin just will will not die.
I mean, Dirac doing whatever he can. The Inara thing, trying to stand as long as he can, goes down. Now the shots are going right into Coriel. Hexafire even used, but it's all going to be in vain. Unlimited Power trying to do his best. 1v4 is not a good look, though, for anyone. And that's going to be all business at the end of the day coming out with that. And it did not look like their fight at first.
Those are the ones that keep you up at night. Those are the ones that hurt you, because there's moments you just see that I can do this a little bit better, and I know it, and I just didn't do it. And mechanical error, not thinking error, getting caught up in the moment, maybe playing against Bugsy and thinking, hey, this is my chance to beat, a champ. A guy who's been to the top. He's seen the mountain, and he's still only halfway up. This is an opportunity to really prove yourself against someone like that, and for whatever reason, they just cannot finish him. He gets away with an inch of health and comes back to haunt them.
I mean, everything so far, all business is done. And I'm going to say it kind of hinges on something that we don't typically get to see. You have two supports on their side. You have the Grok, you have the Furia.
Nice stun.
But it is mostly Furia. It is Sadzik who is keeping them alive. It has been these beams. Yep. That is why Coriel has dove so deep to try and get rid of her, because most of these plays have been made on the fact that you're getting that full health reset in the middle of the fight.
Well, here's another thing, too, Gore. You're absolutely right. That full health reset is so important. Sadzik needs to die, but the problem is, I think we saw it in that one moment where you're thinking Yomi Strike's going to come out, do some damage, maybe force them back.
Yeah.
And he goes into the counter, plays a little bit more defensive. For whatever reason, that buys time. He goes as Yomi Strike, but then the shield blocks it. And those little moments of events is kind of like the butterfly effect. Keeps Ineffable alive, keeps Sadzik out of pressure so he can heal up. And that little moment is what ChromaSpace are working with. They have very little opportunities to make a mistake if they want to win this point.
And Xin is probably in that one area. There's a lot of champions that it's kind of straightforward how you're going to play them, right? You're looking at Bomb King. This is how you're going to play Bomb King. You're maybe not going to look as good when you're doing it at first, but as you get there, Closar's Bomb King is kind of like one of your goals to be able to get into. Xin has so many avenues he can go down. There's so many roads when you first pick him up.
Take a look at his
you
build,
can be aggressive. You can be defensive. You can maybe play on the side, and it just doesn't quite work the way you would want. And in those moments, you have to make that decision. That comes from experience. I mean, you've been playing a ton of Xin lately.
Oh, yeah.
You can't find yourself against Closar like that. You can't get taken out.
Yeah, I mean, Xin, obviously, just so many elements to his play. He's very much it reminds me of a guy who did grow up with a master, a teacher, where there's so much more to the art of fighting than just going in and doing damage. He has a lot of opportunities to get kills, but he also has opportunities to escape, to distract, to be a nuisance. And that's a moment right there. You hit the Yomi Strike, you press it, man. This is a kill for you. Sadzik is ready with the beam, but you've done your job. You have used the beam on you as an offensive tool versus keeping the tanks alive. Look at the way that thus the fight starts to work in your favor now that they don't have those resets. So in my opinion, Unlimited Power should have, right just there, taken notes, should have figured out, hey, this is what I need to do. If I get that beam used on me, that means we can finish the fight on the point.
And he's got in his loadout a lot of cards that work
Hideout
for
5,
him.
baby.
I was going to say Hideout 5, Fan the Flames, keep yourself alive, make sure your billow is up as long as you can. But I feel like because it's up as often as it is, because it's as long as it is, he is a little too willing to jump into it sometimes.
I hear you.
And that's why you see he's 4th on the damage chart. Surprisingly enough, Barrick, Grok going to be able to beat out the Bomb King, but it is the Cassie, it is the Xin, I think, that are the most effective damage when they're placing it in the right spots.
Absolutely. And you can see the resilience coming through for both teams. Dirac, Adam, and Ineffable, and William Birkin grabbing Resilience too. It's a much cheaper item, and they're also getting their Rejuvenates as well. You're noticing the double stacks of the Haven for William Birkin and the Rejuvenate, something that wasn't possible before this, but you're right. Just gets out. And you know what? I don't mind this because they've got an advantage on the point. William Birkin is in trouble. He used the Dome Shield early, but you cannot let this fight go. They're all committing to the ultimates now, and it looks like ChromaSpace are just caught out. They haven't used mini ultimates as well, only in response, and it feels like they're just lagging behind this fight a little bit. They've got to get a trade here, and it comes with William Birkin going down, but Bugsy takes down Unlimited Power, and there's the reset they didn't want Ineffable to have.
The knockbacks are going perfectly here as he's being able to just control that one area. Everyone's zoned into the staircase. He's able to get a bunch of damage off, and now they have control of the point once again. And I want to say big credits to William Birkin again for staying on the wall. A lot of players in that moment will panic and jump down to one side or the other, try to go down for the kill. That gives him vision, and no one's looking for Barrick up in the air. And as of right now, he's got the reset. He's back on the point. He's been deadly.
Uh-oh, we need to see backline here. We need to see what's going on with the healer. This is the most important part of it. And Bugsy does go down, but they have to get Sadzik. Sadzik's still in that room, and they know it. But Sadzik is playing defensively, and that means that he cannot heal up William Birkin. This is the pressure ChromaSpace have been looking for. They finally get it, 48%. And wouldn't you know, just like dominoes, they all start toppling down. And it looks like ChromaSpace are keen on winning their first point in this entire game.
Finally being able to get the zone 2. Unlimited Power's choked up. Bugsy's half health. Even if he gets close, Cassie is waiting to play Gatekeeper. Ghost Wall can only get you so far, and Tempest, even though you can fly, is not going to get you there in time.
And Sadzik goes down again, and now they're in trouble. Bugsy just used his out. He doesn't even have his Ghost Walk. He should be dead here, and he is. Oh no, this was a full commit, and this might have just started the snowball that will end this game, especially if Adam stays alive. Oh man, and he does. Ineffable falls as well. Will it be William Birkin? He's hiding in the corner. A bomb meets Adam's face, and he gets scared for a little bit, and he does not get the kill, but he does end up staying alive, and that's probably a better consolation prize than most would achieve.
And this is where the aggression from ChromaSpace is going to kind of get halted. Everyone from All Business is just outside their base. They have a lot of cover. They have the ability to just walk back and get healed. That is where you can punish them, and that's exactly what they do. They get too aggressive onto William Birkin. They go a little too far, just a couple steps. And instead of getting this to, I would say maybe 3/4 where they could have. They definitely could have broken the base with the payload.
Yep.
They all fall back. They reset. Yep. Now the zone could potentially be all it's needed. That's all it's been for All Business this game.
Ooh, what a nice little body block there. I think Coriel stepped in front of Ineffable as he was trying to shoulder bash away, body blocked him, and allowed Adam to get that big game off. Adam gets another one. Look at this man, 14 straight for the Hunter's daughter. And boy, oh boy, that Hunter sure taught her some nice tricks, huh? Big Game is one of the most impactful legendaries that we've seen in this kind of sustain-oriented meta. Lunge, giving her the extra distance as well. Somersault giving that extra dodge and Tumble. Really just giving some extra health, something that Cassie didn't have the opportunity to achieve. Tumble used to be a CC reduction card, and so now she's got a little bit more health to play with.
And this is looking a lot like a similar loadout to what you would see out of like Rock Monkey. Being able to run Territorial 5, especially when you're running something like Big Game, is pretty much hand in hand. Like you have to have that, you have to be able to get the damage off. And for a lot of Cassie players, knowing, I guess, the ability to hit those shots in between your shots, if that makes any sense. Have those abilities go through, so you're getting this big burst all at once. You're able to find those kills, and when you're up against, like you said, a very sustainable team, and admittedly tanky team, even though Bomb King, you know, Grok, Furia, not known for their tankiness.
Oh, and that's the damage right there. And they get the Dread Serpent. Bugsy goes down. That's a beautiful attempt at heading into this fight with momentum, and oh, they seem to have it. Closar trying to finish off Adam, and he does. Could this be the game-changing moment? But no, Coriel, unlimited power. They are snowballing this. In flame or not, that's going to be one swing, but William Birkin and Ineffable holding strong. Bugsy is back. Will this put it to a 3-3? Ultimates have been committed on both sides here.
Doing whatever they can. King Bomb, the only one left for All Business, and they might need it, but Dirax's too low to worry about. Everyone else just a little bit too far away, and they should be able to, stop Coriel in his tracks, dismount him, even get a kill to boot, just to make sure they have a little bit of icing on their cake. But that was a little, I want to say, too close to the chest for All Business. They had it under control, but there were moments where you could see one small step, and they're going to fall apart there. And I think it's where they're putting their focus, who they are trying to kill. Unlimited Power is warranting a ton of distraction factor. He's 11 and 10. They're trying to kill him, and they're succeeding a lot. But the 22, 7, and 13 Cassie is where my eyes are. She is the one causing so much havoc.
And also, I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. Indomitable, is this the first time I've seen someone run? Because we haven't probably taken a look at the Ashe loadouts, assuming that they're just the same. The first time I've seen them run on Cass, the 40% lifesteal. Now, this is a definitely new card. Again, a lot of the CC reduction cards, the thing that Resilience does, a lot of the anti-heal cards, the thing that Cauterize does, have been removed from characters in this latest patch and have been provided different effects for the same cards that used to be, you know, the same name. And this has just given Ashe a lot more sustain than I think most players are used to. Hasn't picked up the life for it, but stays healthy in these trades, which he is so good at in general because of that huge health pool.
40% is not a number to mess around with. You can see already the effectiveness. Of course, a full heal reset from Fury is going to help you out, but this looks like round 1 all over again. This is them coming in, knowing exactly the play they want to execute, and having it go their way. Ults not even used yet. The ones that were charged up are still being held onto because you want to keep those in your pocket. There's going to be the Inflame coming through, and that's just going to allow this zone to get so much better.
Yeah, limited power has to touch here. I mean, this absolutely got to be unlimited power. Here's the King Bomb, and he's going for Dirac. Actually, he's going for Mad Mac. You got to time the Slither, and you know what? He baits it out. He knew the Slither was coming, so Closar just says, I don't need the speed. I'm going slow and steady, baby. And, yep, looks like it's over. I don't think Coriol and unlimited power can pull this one off. They could buy a little bit of time, but there's just too much firepower. William Birkin going to take down Coriol. Overtime still ticking away. The world had just reset it. The counter, he did everything he needed to, but it is not enough. All business. They're going to take game number 1.
Being said, I think this is an opening to an exciting set, right? It goes 3-3, and it's not, oh, it's 3-3 because one team like was messing around and they pushed too hard and then they just wiped. We couldn't push past them. They were a wall. They are something that is a force to be reckoned with. They got the best of us, but at the end of the day, we get the best of them. All business moving slightly ahead, but their choice in draft, the way they've kind of changed things up, I think you're seeing the history of Bugsy help the team out.
Yeah, I mean, just decision-making and play calls, those are what will sometimes take a 3-3 in your favor. You know, it's not anything else besides just how you maneuver around that last fight. We got some post-game stats for you. Check it out. We'll be doing this after every game, so just expect it. We won't say it. You'll just see it, and you'll know that these are coming up because we want to check in with who did what. And look at the damage right there. Bugsy leading the top with 140 on his team. Adam, though, breaking records for his squad, 153. That's a high number.
That is probably some of the best. And again, overall, in terms of his eliminations, he was probably the most impactful. It was just the follow-up behind that. Can unlimited power get something else with that? Of course, if 3 people die to Adam, there's not much left for you to find. But you're looking at Bugsy, you're looking at William Birkin, and of course Closar, who have been topping the charts there. But William Birkin on the point the most, 382 seconds on the objective, plus all that
Couldn't
damage,
get him off.
plus all that shielding. Like, he was always in the action, always surviving, and it is shout outs to Sadzik with 170k healing that kept him going.
I mean, 170 points away in terms of, essentially in terms of objective time, 170 seconds. And Dirac, I mean, almost doubling, almost getting equal to Dirac what he had in extra objective time before even matching Dirac. So he's nearly double the amount of time spent on the point. Pretty amazing. That just tells the story right there. They just couldn't kill Barrick. And William Birkin just contributed too much damage. I mean, those turrets, you keep those up, you know, you keep Barrick firing. It is not insignificant damage. Yeah. As we head to map 2 here, it is all business taking game 1. And ChromaSpace going to have to fight from a deficit in order to bring this set back. Best of 5, Stone Keep is where we'll go next.
And similarities to Jaguar Falls, there are a few overall in this map. A lot of the fights do end up being either left or right of the point.
Yeah.
The point, though, is a lot more open overall for Stone Keep, so you're going to end up encountering these scenarios where having someone like an Inara with a really solid healer behind her will change the fight way more here because you're not as isolated. You're not just standing on the point. Barrick, if they can play the way they did last game, then I have no problems seeing all business run it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see if the Torval Koga adjusts. Seems like they're sticking to similar bans. But they're going to take the Makoa this time. So ChromaSpace will have an opportunity to grab a Koga.
This is one of the maps that we've seen Koga come through
That's right.
pretty often. I want to say, like, when he was first being tested out, this was always where people would pick him up. Closar's Bomb King was incredibly solid, so there's not much of a reason to pull away from that, but will he come through? He's unbanned, but if you want to grab him, this is the time to do it.
Well, we'll see, because Bomb King in not prioritizing a front line could be difficult. Now, they go for the Ashe. I think it's a strong pick, one of the best front lines in this game. Sustain now, even better. CC, even better with the stun on the ultimate. Range, lifesteal, even, you know, better than it used to be. So I think that's a strong pick. Con, though, Storm of Bullets, although he loses the firing line CC immunity, Storm of Bullets is some incredible damage output. So he's not really in a bad spot, and that ultimate can be hit by anyone who knows relatively how to aim in Paladins. And these players certainly do.
I mean, I have to say, last week, Vortex Grip kind of won me over in certain scenarios. Like, and having that flexibility, that's what's made a lot of these champions so useful, is the fact that you can go into the game being like, I'm just going to play Khan, and you have no idea which one I'm going to have until I leave that gate.
Right.
And coupling it with a Nara, with a Maldamba, like, you could put up a, not necessarily infinite, but a very large stun machine that is just constantly keeping a Bomb King, an Ashe, or a Barrick under wraps, but I mean, all business are literally just running it back.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like the Furia priority. The reason is Barrick already buys so much time. And Barrick with rocket boots and the ability to reset that dash and bowling ball as well is just already just a monster in himself without the solar blessing. But if he gets that, then it's a full reset. You got to do it again. And then you have Ashe coming through, and she buys 8 seconds when she has her ultimate. As far as ults, it is super hard to finish off what all business are putting together. ChromaSpace going with a little bit more tried and true, a little bit more consistent. We'll see if the Leon in place of the Cassie can do it for them. But if all business are able to just execute their composition, I'm thinking this one is going their way as well. What do you think, Warren?
It feels, I mean, again, a quote you'd probably hear all the time: if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The only thing they change is from Grok to Pip, which admittedly I think is a map-specific change. Jaguar Falls, Grok is probably going to be a little stronger overall.
Will this
but
be
here,
a Bugsy Pip?
Being able to jump up and down, Pip fits a lot better in terms of where he's able to go through, plus the heal going through walls. Like, it fits perfectly, and it is going to be Bugsy on Pip as well. Everyone else literally just running back what they just ran, so comfort is already there for all business.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, too, that it's going to be a Bugsy Pip. We haven't seen him play this character for a while. It just wasn't the role that he was kind of selected to play on his former squads, especially when looking at the troubles of Fnatic, the successes just didn't come into his hands, had to be much more of a coach, a leader. But going for what I've seen here as well, a little bit of reload, but instead of going for some increased AoE for the heal, he's saying, I can hit my heal. I'm a good player. I know what I'm doing. I don't need extra room. I'm just going to go for some lifesteal instead for those trades. So you can tell he's going to get aggressive. And this is already working out well for ChromaSpace point-wise, but all business just waiting for that one kill to move in.
I mean, hugging this ledge, being able to have the high ground, constantly poking people out, unlimited power, pretty much having no impact on any fight. He's been locked on the left side of the map the entire time. And Dirac, poor Dirac, just getting kind of collapsed between two blasters.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing that I like, that they went and got 87%. But what are you going to do off of it? You got no kills? And it does feel like there's just a little bit going awry with the way ChromaSpace are approaching this second fight. I like that tactic, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to get back, especially with the explosive flask and the way this map is positioned.
And specifically where Bugsy is kind of, not necessarily, I want to use the word abusing, but just where he's standing, where he's aiming, how he's able to get a dismount really early on and get a lot of shots, and he's never in any danger. No one can see him. Khan going to rush in, Coriel goes down.
Like, again, Zen touched, but did he really? To no avail was that touch. And unfortunately for ChromaSpace, but very fortunately for all business, they have continued to dominate. I'd love to take a look at the healing numbers here. We know Pip is not primarily focusing on that healing, but Bugsy's still been getting some meaningful heals. 5,000 at this point. Nothing to, you know, look at and say, oh, I'm not even close to 25. I mean, truly, Pip getting 5,000 even in a game, 10,000 in a game in a lot of your casual games for Catalyst Pip, that's more than you expect. So 5,000 already in point one. He's doing a good job of keeping an eye on his teammates.
And you have to look at what damage that can nullify too, right? Like, Khan essentially feels useless in the face of 5,000 healing on the side, and that is just going to be the pressure that's coming through. That one not connecting the way it needs, but that's going to be inevitable landing back, and there's just 2 kills clean cut for all businesses. Now they're going to press the gas pedal.
1,020 damage on the Inflame. Yeah, Pip is looking like a pretty dangerous character here on Stone Keep, and just in general, especially when you're using that 30% damage amp and the 30% movement speed from the Furia ultimate. Incredible stuff there from all business. I was skeptical, but the second you saw Bugsy on there, you knew this team was going to at least bring some strong team fighting capabilities, and it seems like they've been executing just top-tier gameplay here at Paladins.
And as much as I love seeing a lot of these players return, playing some of these champions, Unlimited Power right now I feel like is having no impact. The Zen twice, 2 games in a row, like, has been around. He's been doing a little bit of work. He's keeping up in damage in terms of Bomb King Leon, but it feels like he's just kind of a distraction. He's just someone to look at after the fact.
It's a strong play, but you know what happens? Actually, Bugsy heals him, I believe, through the wall. And that's why Closar doesn't die there. You see his health just jump right back up, and that's unfortunate for him. Again, great showcase of why Bugsy's working well on this Pip. Limited Power running that hideout 5 and the 40% movement speed to be able to get out, but this map is so wide open. Will he actually stay safe? Can he retreat? No, he's back in the fighting. He should go down here. He didn't get a kill, and it looks like this will be the end of him.
I would say that was an example of me like saying, okay, maybe he's not being, but he just bought so much time for his team staying alive that long, and like that's the only issue I have with his playstyle right now. That seems to be his only goal is, hey, I just won't die. I'm not going to really get any kills. I'm not going to do insane damage. I'm just going to stay alive, and they're going to have to look at me at least for a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that's strong, I think, awareness of how successful he's been. Bugsy could go for the ult. No, he doesn't have it yet. 40% still charging up on that. He may feel like that's enough. Misses the jump. Nice poppy bomb away. That was just looking almost like choreographed there, the way that he dodged up and just back to be able to finish him off. Glosar looking really nice here on this Bomb King with an 8 streak already.
Looking for the kill here.
Like,
try to keep Furia alive. That was protect Agent Furia.
Yeah.
And now it's just kill everyone who happens to be in your way. Furia stays alive. William Burke and Sadzik going to put their names on the kill count, but it is Glosar on the side, I think, kind of being the unsung hero, not getting the kills, but doing all the damage.
Yeah, and they don't need ults here. They're going to get the push no matter what. Strong, strong stuff from All Business. And, you know, one of the things in Paladins in these sets, you'll see players go back to doing something that didn't work the game before because they're not sure why it didn't work. And I like that. I think it's okay to do that because you have to get the, you know, you have to change some of the variables and say, okay, well, maybe on a different map. Maybe if we have the Leon supporting me and not the Cassie, right? Maybe if we have this Khan on instead to be able to really pressure out. But you're right, 0-5. The Zen's not working. It's your damage pick. You need to get some kills. It's just not working. So next game, I would expect to see it switch up unless it has a monster second half of this match here.
I actually would have loved to see maybe even Koga in place of that, just because this map feels very Koga-esque. It fits his playstyle. You can climb up the walls, you can play at range, or you can get right in their face. Like, it fits your versatility a little bit more. Zen, as you can see, Unlimited Power has been pretty much locked in this area the entire game and is about to go down. Might be able to step out, but that's more because All Business don't care about him enough to actually pursue.
And one of the things you'll notice is that Bugsy went to the left side this time, mixing it up, not letting them get comfortable with the game plan, and that's just a veteran move. Glosar finding Dirac there before the Seismic Crash can even hit, getting a double kill because they're distracted with Bugsy. What can he turn this into? He's got the Inflame. He may just try to hit the King Bomb. He knows the movement speed is there, but now just forces the Enlightenment out at him. Right around the corner. That man don't miss very often. So 66% and counting, and they've got William Birkin, a 15 streak for this. Do not tell me he gets out alive. Oh my God, what? They just can't kill this Barrack. Solar Blessing right on cue. Credit where credit is due. Sadzik with a beautiful, beautiful opportunity to help out tank number 2 there, and he gets it.
And now systematic kills trying to come through. Coriel finally gets rid of Bugsy, but the problem is you commit so hard, your front line runs so far back. Everyone else is just dying around you, and I don't think in my entire time watching Con, I have ever seen someone literally just walk away like that. Like, it's not often that you can just say, you know what, your ult's cool, you pulled me into like 3 of you, I'm just going to go hit the point back up. Like, I'll talk to you guys later. Like, sorry, I just can't hang.
He had the rocket boots, the failsafe, reset. He had bowling ball, and he then got a shield, and he got that Furia.
Just stacks on stacks on stacks.
Stacks on stacks on stacks. And, you know, you do have to say, unfortunately, it was a mistake, at least the way I saw it from Coriel. He threw Barrack before the timer was out. He should have let his teammates kill him while he held him. I think he was worried about the pressure incoming, but you don't even get the kill that you sacrificed the ult for. Super unfortunate, 19 streak. I know that Barrack has to be driving ChromaSpace crazy, and why wouldn't it?
I mean, based on last game into this game, right? Essentially undying with the way things have been going. Maybe a few deaths to his name in this game is absolutely undying. Maybe 1 or 2 last game. So he's batting such a high average of just survivability, of uptime, that Barrack is causing trouble for them. Shielding, turrets, shots coming from the side. You want to commit in on him. You want to try and get rid of him, and there's just nothing to deal with him. They have nothing to lock him down.
And here's why, guys. Just take a look. This is why. This is the build. This is the idea. You get bowling ball, you get your healing station, forged alloy, however many points you want to put in those things. But failsafe is the key. You get the reset at 30% of your max health. So you use your dash, you get your bowling ball, and you get 1,500 health. You get bursted down even lower. You have failsafe take over. You get another dash, another 1,500 health shield. They essentially have to burn through an extra 3,000 health from you. And as you can see, it ends up netting you some victories. They get the dub yet again. it looks like All Business are really about their business here.
I mean, game 1 looked kind of like going punch for punch, like feeling you out, like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, if I hit you here,
throwing jabs.
Okay, you're going to hit me
throwing
back.
jabs.
Then game 2 was like, all right, I brought a surgeon knife, and you're on the table. Like, there's no fight between the two right here.
They just took him out, man. They just fake another jab, and they hit him with the uppercut, and now it's just like, what do you got? And then they just
slow-mo Rocky.
It's
the end game win.
What was that boxing? What was that boxing anime that came out?
Oh, boxing
last
anime.
year,
I was
man?
like, Creed?
Megalobox. No. Megalobox. You know what I'm saying? They hit him with the Megalobox. He's like fighting with no super armor, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, this guy's a chump. He hits you with the uppercut, and you're like, whoa, game over. And that's what Bugsy likes to do. Hit you with those uppercuts. This time it was on Pip. What'll it be next game? Unlimited power. He needs to change, though. I know that.
Man, William Birkin. Still almost double what Dirac was able to put down, and even in a 4-0, like just being able to keep that control. Of course, like you said, though, unlimited power, objective time 7, that doesn't matter. Those were the resets. It's the damage, the 42k, having no true impact, not really converting much of that damage into kills anyway. That's where I think the issue truly lies versus what you just saw at a Bugsy, Closar. I mean, just the full team of All Business.
Doesn't William Birkin sound like a place you'd buy candles and furniture?
I'm going to go there later, and actually, it's like William Sonoma.
Yeah.
William Birkin's right next door.
William Birkin's.
There's where you get like your cooking supplies. Here's some furniture,
furniture, yeah.
And then next to it, we'll have another William that has a very similar name. And carpets.
Yeah, carpets.
That's the next market.
That's what I like it. We just need one more William to come through and give us just the entire house remodeling renovation kit there, and they'll be in business. They'll be all
business.
All right, let's go into the maps. We've got that coming up soon. Frozen Guard.
I'm going to say, after the first game,
yeah,
seems like it might go by a little bit faster than I originally thought. Frozen Guard, though,
yeah, I agree,
is a perfect way to throw at least a fork in the road. It might not stop them. They're just going to have to figure out which way they want to go right afterward, because now it's a different style than what you've seen out of the last couple of maps. Again, Stone Keep, Jaguar Falls, still I would say fall in that kind of standard map. This one, a little bit of a longer push, way easier defense with the base and the layout that the map has set up for it.
Mm-hmm.
But a very interesting point fight in the sense that you are in a room with 4 pillars and 4 wide, or a couple more doors overall, 4 generically wide openings that are difficult to fight in, but I kind of wouldn't mind seeing maybe All Business go for a Bomb King again on this one.
Oh my god, absolutely. I mean, and this time they banned the Ash, and so they are at least going to force something away. The Makoa Torvald will stay banned. ChromaSpace getting the con, but the Grover Ruckus comes out. One of the reasons I think you take Grover Ruckus is because Ruckus is actually a champion that's kind of hard countered by Grover, especially if you're running deep roots. Even if you're running the cripple, it's super easy to your weapon shots scale onto his shield as well. They scale extremely well in terms of just rooting him and sticking him in place. Easy big target. So I think this is a nice pairing for All Business. Cassie back in instead of the Leon, or what we could see is Cassie maybe going to unlimited power, maybe flexing out Adam onto something else.
Yeah.
Or maybe unlimited power here, saying, I'm just going to stick with Zen.
I mean, I actually really like the way Cassie fits into this. Because even if you don't look at everything else, even if the Maeve doesn't come through, big game is going to be effective against Ruckus and Barrack immediately. Bomb King as well, since he's a little bit tankier, and Grover, both of them tankier than some of the other supports or DPS that you'd have to deal with. So that's going to be easy chunks to take off of them. And then Maeve to get an execute on top of that.
Oh, wow, and they're going for the Vivian as well. A little bit difficult for Maeve to really dive in. She has to be a little more committal than I'm sure she would want to. And if Vivian saves that shield, it's going to be a little tough for Maeve to win that duel, especially if Vivian hits her shots. So we may expect a Street Justice here. I love Rogue's Gambit. I love the mobility, but I'm not sure if it's competitively viable in this type of situation because you have to get those eliminations rolling. Do you think they can do it? I mean, I was expecting you try Zen once, you try Zen to see if it works again, and now you switch your character. Maeve is it. Is that the answer?
There's a lot of work cut out for her. I think a lot of it is going to come down to hitting in the proper time, having a Wrecker, having a big game Cassie potentially together on your team sets Maeve up a lot better. And I think that is the door that they needed open, right? Adam on Cassie, on Leon, was already hitting so many shots, having a big impact.
Right.
It was Cassie plus Zen or Leon plus Zen just not having that combo.
Right.
Unlimited power plus Adam on Cassie, I think, can make this Maeve work out and look a lot better than it could be otherwise. But I mean, William Birkin has been looking so good on this Barrett. Closar has been so good on this Bomb King. and now you're having to face 3 new threats that you haven't experienced in this set yet.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Sadzik going for the Rampant Blooming, and, you know, you're going to get a little bit of extra healing, but to me, it just feels a bit more redundant. And I'm just waiting for this Deep Roots Grover to kind of take precedence for a lot of these players. Even Ferocity on a map like this, unlimited power with a large flank. Sadzik doesn't see it coming yet. But Bugsy does, though. He's playing the Vivian. He is well aware. And now the call-out has been made. They know where the Maeve is. This is competitive. This isn't casual. They all know now because they are communicating. So it's going to put that Maeve in a little bit more of a troublesome situation. Limited power almost down. He needs to heal big time. And that's why Damba gives it to him.
This is making me think of last game.
Oh,
54% picked up, but Dirac is the one who's going to get taken down. And Cat
good angle.
I actually love for that reason exactly right there. 2 daggers is going to chunk people, but you have to find it in the right area. And again, Maeve on this map, it's wide open. You're not going to be able to get away, and you have to have that sneak factor at the beginning or else it's all over.
And William Birkin gets yet another. Sadzik here. It's just, you know, if you thought it was difficult to get Barrack off the point on Jag Falls, on Stone Keep, I mean, you could barely see the guy. He could dodge, wiggle, you know, maneuver around all of these basically barriers that last and exist in Frozen Guard. It's just going to be so tough to get this guy off the point. Dirac is going to do his best to try. Oh, man. And he's just going to get blasted back thanks to a beautiful Poppy Bomb there from the Bomb King and Klosar just to keep him off from even contesting.
Bugsy going to get healed up on the side as well. Like, everything, I guess, that could go right for All Business is going right. That's the best way to put it. It's not necessarily ChromaSpace doing anything wrong. They're trying their best. It's just there's so few missteps being made by All Business that you can't poke right here. Klosar gets a little too aggressive. You finally get a kill. You finally get to have some small opening, but you can't really defend on top of the payload where all of the threats are going to be.
And, I mean, you know, credit where credit is due. William Birkin, it's not just Barrack. I mean, William Birkin's maneuvering his Barrack in a way that's so effective that he's making the most out of the character. And that is not something you see at a high level like this all the time. There's a lot of Barracks in this situation that would have died, but him and Sadzik have something going on. And you know, I'm not going into the layers of that. I don't know how much is going on between those two, okay? They may be good friends. They may be more. But what I'm saying is that they are extremely good teammates. And that is something that we're seeing here come into effect. That's something ChromaSpace hasn't been able to deal with or break up.
And I think
strength of brothers, you know.
That is what is giving them such a dominant performance. I mean, a minute left, and they're walking into the base. Everyone's still sitting up on the balcony. Like, no one is jumping down to contest this just yet. And Dirac, I mean, he's been getting melted. There's a Dome Shield available. If he wants to jump down, if he needs to defend it, Barrack's got this under wraps.
Big Dread Serpent as well, but he's got the Dome Shield, so there's no worries for him. He knows he can operate under it. He's also got his Rocket Boots coming up off cooldown, and he's got the fail-safe cooldown. Just a second, 14 seconds. That's not really the case here. He's going to have another one if he drops too low. The shield just to buy him some time, and now he's in the face of the Mixer Khan. Corio's been watching, but unfortunately he's been watching himself go back to base several times more than he would have liked. Another fail-safe, and this time William Birkin's going to say, let me take my own life. Corio says, no, I need that. Give me those elimination credits.
Good patience coming down from ChromaSpace. A good Dread Serpent at the beginning of that engagement, which I think opens it up. Because you start putting a little bit of fear into All Business, right? Then you start seeing, okay, well, Whirlwind was used, that Hexafire is used. All of these things that are getting pulled out. You take an ult for that one, and you feel a lot more confident in being able to hold it. Ineffable has to do a ton of work just to get his team back and able to touch. They can get overtime, but this is a very difficult base to break because of the high ground given to ChromaSpace.
So, interesting choice here for the Cat Burglar. I like it. I think there's a lot of range. It's going to be stronger on the defense here, I think, but you have to use your movement as damage. And that is one of the things in this type of situation that could be rough, especially with a cripple in general coming through from Grover, shutting down all of that movement opportunities. This is plenty of damage in itself. I think if you go for the Street Justice, although you have to get in, because the pounce goes through shields, you have an opportunity to finish off some of these high health targets. I think Street Justice Maeve is going to be more viable than Cat Burglar, than Rogue's Gambit here in this meta. And right now, it looks like the Dread Serpent, yet again, is that the second one in this fight? My goodness, Mad Mac has been on a tear of healing.
Being able to get this set up, I mean, that's going to at least buy him some time, because that fight, admittedly, for ChromaSpace was not what they needed to find the defense. But these shots, this kind of positioning, this is going to be what opens it up. You get rid of Sadzik, you get rid of Bugsy, and you're going to get rid of them all. William Birkin can only survive so much on his own. He needs the rest of the team behind him, and Klosar's about to go down as well.
Adam was in a tough spot. He was off rhythm with that juke. Basically, he had to keep the juke, but then reset where he was aiming, and it was not easy to hit that shot, especially after the disengage, but recorrects nicely. A good moment of aim there from Adam, and that just might have saved it all. Getting Sadzik down, the healer, meant that they were on a ticking timer. And that timer expired 1-1 here, Frozen Guard.
And if you roll that fight back to the first, well, I guess technically second engagement under the arch, right? When you have all business, they just wiped, they come back in, they're full force pushing. You have Quariel and Dirac kind of separated and in their face, essentially in a 1v5, feeling themselves each. And you have unlimited power playing the same way he was playing Zen on the Mave, using that ability to get that damage up and trying to keep it ranged as much as he can. And then he ran in by himself and dies. And it's just that 1, 2, 3 deaths alone caused so much trouble. If Mad Mac didn't get that second Dread Serpent, that game's over.
Yeah. And now the resilience is coming out from All Business. What this is going to do is actually take away some of the duration of Maeve's ultimate. It does get affected by resilience. And so they're going to have a couple of questions as to, do we just use it to force a little bit of time, but also hopefully not get baited by the fact that it's not giving us as much time as it normally does. Quariel looks like he could go down here. Will Closar press this? Seems like he's going to have the reach. Nice jump, nice shield block as well. And now Closar could be in trouble. Misses it, he's going for it. Can't quite get it, now he's in trouble. Got to prowl away, and William Birkin and Bugsy rotate, and that's it. ChromaSpace essentially all wiped, and All Business going to zone from here.
All Business is the team that knows what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do.
That's right.
Like, they were already set up for unlimited power to run away. They didn't go and make the dive onto Bomb King saying, no, we got to keep you safe. They were like, he only has one place to go. Just push him.
That's
and
it.
then a couple of missed shots and maybe one more hit bomb. And that's all you need to be able to corral him exactly where they want. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're shepherds here.
Yeah,
All really Business are just making sure ChromaSpace end up where they're supposed to be.
And what's great is that, you know, that was really just a dive from unlimited power. You can tell the frustration is there. Let's bring up the KDAs in this game, as we also don't get to see those post-game. And again, 1-7. I mean, the man was 0-5 when we looked at him in round 1. I don't think it got much better from there because they 4-0'd. So it might have been 0-8. You know, 1-9 last game, 1-7 this game. You got to tell the frustration is seeping in. These are the things that impact performances, and right now, unfortunately, it is not looking good for ChromaSpace to be able to pull this one back.
And I mean, Adam has been kind of like a shining beacon. We typically see this on a team. Cassie in this scenario is going to look great. She's going to be able to find a lot, but it's having anything to follow up on. I mean, he goes down, Mad Mac goes down, Dirac goes down. They get a 4-man wipe, essentially 5-man because of unlimited power going down before all of that.
Right.
And there's no fight back other than the damage Adam outputs.
And I mean, Adam's a great player, but you could tell that unlimited power is given these tasks. Maeve is not as good as Cassie right now, and Maeve is not as good as Leon. So and Zen as well, although can be as good, needs teammates to support him as well. And these lineups haven't been competitive against All Business. But unlimited power has been given the harder task. Let's call a spade a spade. It is not as easy to do well in a tank meta when you have a big game talent to hit against a fat ruckus over there, do 1,100 damage a pop, than this Maeve who's working 1950. I mean, let alone the 400 health difference. It's just or the 300 health difference. It's just a matter of raw output of damage that Cassie beats Maeve in, and reset. So I think that it's just it's a tough task. But if they can defend here, they can maybe pull themselves back in it, William. Something needs to change.
35,000 damage separating the Cassie and the Maeve. And a whole bunch of other champions in between there. I can't name all of them because Maeve was just so much further down the list. But as it is, William Birkin standing on the payload. You have Ineffable getting ready to be able to keep him. There's a Dome Shield. That is pretty much the zone you need to find the final push you want.
And I think what Bugsy's doing is protecting Sadzik, and this is really important. I love Quariel's pressure onto the backline, and this is exactly what happened last round. And to me, this is All Business, not really learning. They left Sadzik by himself. They tried to push, but can they do something with this? He's got the overpower, but he does not have his heal up in a second. He needs some help from Mad Mac, and he's gonna get it. And now the con heal is going to come through. Not sure he needed it right there, but they just wanted to hold. And you can tell that Bugsy maneuvering perfectly. Quariel's gonna sneak up from behind and do him one, just like he did unlimited power at the start of the round, and it will be 2-2 again.
And the execute, I mean, going, first off, 1-7 to 4-9, so you get 3 kills, 2 deaths.
Much better.
That is a much better end round than anything you could have had, but you're still looking at probably the bigger problem, which is the 11-4-13 Bugsy, right? You go to the back line, Quariel, they ignore the Dome Shield, they make the right call, but Bugsy's still picking up kills. If anything goes wrong in that fight against the front lines, Bugsy is going to be the one who's running away with it.
And so this is what I thought. Unlimited power rocking with Wrecker. because going against the Vivian, that's one of the biggest difficulties. That shield that comes up throws that duel off. But she's also getting the record for the Ruckus, which is a very useful tool. Also for the Barrack. Bugsy actually had some funny comments about wanting, record damage to spill over into health. It doesn't, but it will eliminate that shield the higher percentage you have. So if she's hitting for 520, you can basically assume that in 2 shots easily, she's going to get rid of either a bowling ball shield or a Ruckus shield right there. Coriel with a beautiful pick, and it's Sadzik. They get the healer. They should be able to push this. Bugsy is rotating. Where is the help? Where's the squad? No one jumps on that opportunity, and I think that's a missed moment there from ChromaSpace.
And now Unlimited Power, essentially low, going to get healed back up, but not finding the shots he needs, has a little bit more damage in his kit, but it's just all going to fall flat, or at least fall into the snow. Now he's isolated, he's dead, and that is going to cause so much trouble, but it's still 70% picked up for ChromaSpace, but that hasn't afforded him a lot in the last few rounds.
Sometimes it just comes down to, hit your shots, kid. And he just didn't hit his shots. I don't know what else to say. You're running an auto attack based Maeve. Unfortunately, you don't get your burst off, and that is what comes back to haunt. But really, the biggest thing is that Coriel goes in deep, finds the healer. Why are we not taking a team fight there? We've got 5 versus 4, and they don't even have healing. We should all be pushed up into the back line. Get off the point, Dirac. Get over there and support your team. Throw a Warder's Field out. Throw a wall up. That's what's most important. You're winning the point to lose the fight. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if they come away with 100% and you have 99.
And everything, 3-4 rounds in a row, that's been the case. It's been somewhere between 70 and 90% picked up for ChromaSpace that literally was just points for the post-game stats. It's okay, I can now reference that you were standing on the point this much.
Yes.
But it was never converted over to those kills. And the same thing goes, I think Unlimited Power needs that little bit of help. And every game, maybe all he needs is a little bit of, a couple shots from Inara. Just get him a little lower, a little bit more damage, and that could make such a huge sweeping difference.
How much did that Khan Battle Shout heal for? 5? That looked like, I need a replay on that heal. That looked like that heal for 5 health. What was that? Oh my God. He is just salty right now. He's like, that's not what my ability does. My ability doesn't do that. Cauterize, ladies and gentlemen. Pick it up. It is useful. The real thing, though, is there's just, I think, a lot of confidence on the side of All Business. We've seen it since Bugsy was introduced here into the squad. A ton of confidence, a ton of experience that he brings to this team. We didn't expect this to go any other way, although ChromaSpace, really accomplished squad. It's tough to go against somebody who's competed on the world stage, who's done this in and out, and proven that he's one of the best to ever do it.
And I want to give All Business full credit as well, just because all of the things they've been able to do, it hasn't been the Bugsy show, right? Normally you see a team like this where they have one member who's like the star player, and it's all them. And the minute they go down, the minute they're not performing, then everything falls apart. But this has been every single member. All Business are doing so much work. Everything just looks so clean.
And in that push, they finally make sure that the barricade blocks Sadzik during the Whirlwind so they get the Cauterize relief, but also they don't lose their healer, which is every time they did that push, the Whirlwind would happen, they'd leave Grover by himself, and they would lose their sustain. They couldn't finish the push, and now they end up making an adjustment. That's just the stuff that this team's been doing all day. All Business. They're in the finals of Europe here in the PML qualifiers for week 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at some post-game stats when those are ready. Great performance, though, across the board. I got to give a shout-out to ChromaSpace. Well, we're kind of getting on them, but it's just a matter of, those small things that we're noticing are really just the difference,
And there's a lot of it that I think comes down to where the performance was, right? Dirac, 212 seconds on the objective time, maybe needing to assist out, but Unlimited Power, not able to find the damage he needs, the kills they need. There was just some lacking that they had that All Business was ready to pounce on. They're a team that you can't mess around with.
And we were giving the MVP to William Birkin after his lights-out performance on the Barrack. It's one thing to play the champion well, but it's one thing to play the champion like this. The man was on multiple 15-plus streaks, multiple unsurvivable situations that he somehow makes it out alive on, and great damage contributed, great objective time, nearly doubling that of the front lines of ChromaSpace.
And really solid aim to boot. That's something that I feel like when you have a Barrack,
to boot.
What we used to see was Barrack having that, okay, you're going to play the way we want Cassie played, but you're Barrack. It's just you're going to function the same way.
Fantastic.
This was, I'm going to be the front line the team needs.
Oh,
and I'm going to shoot you a lot, and I'm going to stay alive through all these scenarios. Like, he was the trifecta of Barrack player, and honestly, I think if you're looking at this, you're going, okay, well, these guys are now going to the Week 4 qualifiers. We're going to ban Barrack.
I would ban Barrack.
I would ban Barrack.
All right, well, we have one more set coming up for the Europe side of things, but we have 3 more sets for the rest of the day. We're going to get some new casters in here, bring Pretty Hair alongside Gormizer. We're going to get you the finals of Europe, and then we'll be starting North America after that. So stay tuned. More PML action coming your way.